What's going on, everybody? This is Enemy MCLA. Today I'm not in my hometown. I'm actually in Japan, and we fly back in about 6 hours. And today is also my birthday, September 28th. It's my birthday in Japan, but not in my home country of Canada. So you know what to do on your birthday, right? You get free Denny's. And so they do have Denny's in Tokyo. That's where we're at right now. I'm not gonna get too into it right now, but we went on a whole adventure and we're finishing up in Tokyo. And yeah, we're gonna get free Denny's, or at least I am. There is a way to get free Denny's in Japan. You need to download like the Denny's app, Denny's Japan app, and I can't quite download that on my phone. It's not allowing me. And yeah, so I'm just gonna like show my passport and be like, today is my real birthday, for real. And then see if they allow that. And then when we fly back home, we're actually going back in time because of the time difference. There's a 16-hour time difference. And we're gonna get Denny's again. So 2 times Denny's on my birthday, 40-hour birthday. So yeah, for you long time Enemy MCLA fans, I'm not getting a birthday Moab today. I'm done with that game. So I'm gonna spend my birthday a lot differently, and getting Denny's twice and being in 2 different countries and having an extra long birthday. Anyways, long intro. I will see you later. Bye. So making our way to Denny's from the hotel, it was about a 20 to 25 minute walk. I'm no travel YouTuber, so I don't know how to edit or narrate this, but I just put together some clips on the way there. I thought this forklift in the side of the truck was pretty interesting. I've never seen that in Canada. Usually we just unload or load from the back of the truck. Never seen the side of a truck open up like that. And this 7-Eleven we thought was under construction, but I think it was a finished building. Still kind of pondering about that. Some clips of the Tokyo Sky Tree. Never ended up going up in there. And the train going through the city. That was pretty cool. You see that often. We found the Denny's on the 3rd floor. One of these buildings that have multiple businesses in the same building. Made our way to the elevator, and we found the Denny's. So we were getting pretty nervous at this point, or at least I was, asking for the free meal or pancakes. As you see here, we each have our plate. Turns out that the free meal or item were these pancakes. So we actually had to pay, or at least I had to pay for this plate of French toast and other food items. So that's okay. At least I got my free Denny's, technically, in Japan. That was the whole plan. And I think I did read up online that it was only pancakes. I kind of felt bad for the waitress. There was obviously a language barrier. So I had my Google Translate ready and we got it sorted out. After Denny's, we made our way to the train station. We had to take 2 different trains to the airport, so we made it to the first one, and this is a clip of us getting off. It's a pretty long clip, but I'll see if I can either commentate throughout this whole thing, or I might just add some music. Train stations are pretty interesting in Japan. In Canada, you know, we just have, or at least where I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, we have what they call the Sky Train. It's just an elevated train platform that's driverless, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty efficient. It comes by often, and the platforms are not that big. It's like 5 carts for the train, so 15 or so doors. The trains in Japan are like double or triple or quadruple the size. It's pretty crazy how many people the trains in Japan transport. There are more or equal amount of people in Tokyo than there are in all of Canada. So, you know, it has to be able to transport a lot of people. It has to be big enough, right? So, but we were shocked by the trains and the train stations in Japan, just how big and chaotic, or just how busy they were. As you see in this clip, this is just one transfer, and we have to go down an escalator. Currently, we're walking to what appears to be outside a little bit. We're looking for the Keisei line. I think we were just on the Sobu line, coming from Tokyo. Right now, we're going up another set of escalators. Some of the transfers could literally be like across the platform, or it could be like down a set of stairs, walk over 10 seconds and go up a set of stairs to go onto a neighboring platform. And those are easy enough, but it's these ones that you see on Google Maps where it says the transfer can be up to like a 5-minute walk. Where it's like, okay, we really got to keep our eyes open and look at the signs and, you know, pay attention, don't get distracted, because on these longer walking transfers of trains, they'll have you walk into like a mall, like we're doing right now. Like, this is a mall, I assume, is that we're walking into right now. A bunch of stores, it looks like a mall, you know, and with all these distractions, it can really put you off track and what you're trying to find, right? So, but what's really nice about Japan is that they're really English friendly. There are some signs and some advertisements and stuff that, you know, are only in Japanese, and, you know, we're not gonna discriminate. It's not our country, it's not our language. We get that. But for transportation, it's made it really easy to understand where to go for the most part. There were times that we got pretty confused. So on our way to the airport, there are a couple ways to get there. There's a few different trains. There's like the Skyliner that goes like right to Tokyo. And the thing about that one is that it's quite a bit more expensive. We were pretty close to finishing the amount on our IC cards, our like transit cards. So I think my girlfriend had like 800 yen on it, and I had like 1,000 yen. And this way would have been like 1,050 yen. So like I was off by like 50 Canadian cents. So we're just like, okay, we'll just take this one. It'll be like one transfer. And when we get to the airport, we'll just have to do a bit of a fare adjustment. And then we'll finish the amount on our IC cards. It'll be like perfect. So now we just got off the train. We're at the airport now. I'm probably gonna heavily cut this because there was a lot of escalators. We had to go up like 4 or 5 floors. But one thing I want to note is that this airport was so easy to navigate. This was the same airport we got to when we landed in Japan, and I think it was just a whole culture shock and still in disbelief that we were in Japan, and just it was so busy when we got here, and just there's so much going on that we were like borderline panicking when we landed, trying to find our IC cards and trying to find what kind of train to use to get into the city. But thankfully, like when we were heading to our gate to fly back home, the signs were just so easy to follow. Right here, yeah, we just tested our cards. It didn't let us through. I was off by like 70 yen, and my girlfriend was off by like 200, 250 yen, so it was perfect. Right here, we found our last stamp. We were collecting these stamps in our books throughout the entire trip. It was pretty cool. I'll share that in another Japan video. Yeah, that's what it looked like. Pretty cute. Right here, we just had to take out our IC cards one more time, just because there's another entrance to another train, but that cost nothing, so it led us through. So here we found where to go for international departures. And also this was the spot where we were panicking when we landed in Japan. There was like the Keisei Skyliner tickets there. There's like the JR Line tickets and Welcome Suica card purchasing area there. And yeah, for a while we were just kind of standing in the middle and just looking around. We did watch like a lot of videos and like what to do when you first land in Japan, like go here, go here. But once you actually are there and like there's so many people walking around, it's pretty intimidating. At this time, this is not even busy. But when we had landed in Japan, there was so many people. It was crazy. International departures sign. More escalators. We had to go up to the 4th floor. We did look up beforehand that we had to go to the 4th floor north wing of Terminal 1. Right now we're at basement floor 1, or below floor 1. And you just keep going up the escalator to floor 4. So now we entered this big room, and we thought that we were going to be in here for a while. But we instantly found the Zip Air sign and a sign for Vancouver. We walked over there, found the machine to check in and get our boarding pass. No problem at all. And we saw this big line. We were like, uh-oh. Do we have to stand in that? No, we didn't. So I don't know what that was for. Maybe for baggage? But we're like, oh, departures, no line here. We don't have to do any of that. All we had was like a couple backpacks. We didn't have any cases. Going through the security check right now. And then into immigration. Security check was no problem at all. Didn't have any weapons. My girlfriend was kind of scared about these plastic shurikens that we got from a samurai museum. That was all taken care of. And now we were just exploring the airport. We had like 2.5 hours of free time, so we were just walking around. We went to the opposite side of our gate. And there wasn't really much on the opposite end, just like stores, near shops, of course, and restaurants. But the other side was popping. Like our side, it had more souvenir shops, but it also had a 7-Eleven and a McDonald's. We walked around further because I was in search of my last postcard. I needed to find a Tokyo postcard, which are pretty common, of course, but I just couldn't really find the right one. They were presents for my sister and her husband. They were asking for postcards for every major city that we were at. So we finally found one. Here I'm just showing off this dressing room because we wanted to unpack or put on more clothing for the flight, just in case they were a little bit stingy about the weight of our bags. That turned out to be no problem. My weight was like 7.5 kilograms, and I think my girlfriend's was like maybe 8 or 9 kilograms. But once we got to the gate, nothing was weighed, and there was luggage and suitcases way bigger and appeared to look heavier than our bags. I was just showing off how small my bag was. That's after 2 weeks. Pretty small, huh? I did tighten it up, but you know, had just a few days of clothing, smaller souvenirs, and yeah, 2 weeks in that pretty small bag. Pretty proud of it. So we got through the gate, heading into the airplane. I was not looking forward to this because the plane ride to Japan was pretty brutal. The internet was pretty bad, and we were not prepared with pre-downloaded TV shows and anime and movies. Yeah, the plane ride there was brutal, brutally boring. So here's takeoff. Got a few clips of pretty flat area of Japan. I guess it would have to be pretty flat if it's an international airport, you know. So this time we were pretty prepared. On our flight back, we had downloaded so much anime and movies that it would last probably 2 flights. We had been watching Full Metal Alchemist for a while, and we had planned to like finish it in Japan, but we only had 8 episodes left, so I downloaded it onto my phone and finished it on the flight. She had also watched Ponyo. The flight was pretty scary at times. There was some pretty bad turbulence a couple times during the flight, but we're alive. We got through it. Saw this beautiful sunrise when we were slowly but surely, quickly approaching Canada. It was a very beautiful sight. The clouds seem unreal. It looked like rocks really below us, and here's a beautiful sight of the islands. Canada, Western Canada, like Vancouver Island, I assume this to be. And then approaching the lower mainland. We had landed, but I didn't get any footage of that or getting off. I kind of forgot that I was making this video, so the Vancouver airport I have less footage of than the Tokyo Narita airport. So times were easy to follow. Heading to arrivals, and I forgot to record like everything after that. So here's the SkyTrain. Woohoo! Way worse than Japan trains, in my opinion, now that I've ridden them. But I guess the driverless aspect is pretty cool. Horrible shot of Richmond. And we got off the SkyTrain. We're at Waterfront Station, and we just had to do one transfer over to the Expo line. Transfers in Vancouver are nothing like Japan transfers. You barely have to transfer for SkyTrains. We're at our apartment. Here's our ghetto elevator. And we got home to a surprise of a gift basket. And of course, that day was still my birthday. There was a 16-hour time difference from Japan to Vancouver, so I had 40 hours of my birthday. So we had taken off at like 4 p.m. hand time on my birthday, and we had landed in Vancouver the same day, still my birthday, at 8 a.m. So it was like a 9-hour flight, and we still went back in time 6 hours. So pretty strange. We did lose a day going to Japan, but we gained a day on my birthday. That was pretty cool. Here's our beautiful doggy. My sister had come by earlier to drop off my cats, and then my girlfriend's sister came by a couple hours later to drop off Luna, our dog, and she was pretty excited to see us. We had already rested and slept for a while and caught up with people. Now we're on our way to the Canadian Denny's. It's still my birthday. And hop on the SkyTrain again. Went to Royal Oak Station and walked the nearby Denny's. Yeah, it was pretty weird to get used to being back in Canada again. You just wanted to say arigato and konnichiwa to everybody and bow. All right, everybody, we're approaching our Canadian Denny's. Right now it's 6:07 p.m. We obviously went home and rested and opened up some gifts. We're at our Canadian Denny's. Let's go. I'm not gonna lie, I think I prefer the Canada Denny's more. It's just more of a nostalgic feeling of, you know, having a Canadian breakfast. The Japan Denny's was nice in a different way. Like, I think the presentation of the meals looked better, but to me, you just can't beat like a classic Canadian breakfast. Potatoes, meat, pancakes. It's the best, man. I can't emphasize that anymore. So here's my free meal. It was actually completely free on my side. My girlfriend had to pay for 2 Denny's, unfortunately, but yeah, it was a really good meal. Really filled me up. And then the last clip here was this claw machine, which is far inferior to hand claw machines. I have a whole story on that in another video. And we exited the restaurant, and that was basically my birthday, or at least my Denny's birthday.